So, okay. So for those of you that joined last week, we just touched on Google My Business, and that's another free tool that Google offers. The nice thing about that is it puts, if you don't have a website or any kind of digital footprint, it puts you on the map. It gives potential visitors the opportunity to get hold of you via, a phone call or a message, or just kind of catching up on what you're doing. You can kind of run posts and things like that, and then it also gives visitors, people that are searching for what you've got, the opportunity to contact you through various methods. The next step is we're going to talk about Google Search Console today, and this is for people that do have a website. So Google kind of monitors things that we do online, and they monitor what people search for. Obviously, in South Africa, we all use Google Search. I mean, if you're looking for anything online, the first place most of us go to is we type in Google, the zero and type in whatever we're looking for. Google monitors that, and obviously they want to present their customers, which is the people that are searching, with the best information available relating to what they're looking for. And they, Google then monitors people on the other side that they're presenting the information from, which is you and I, or anybody that has a website. And obviously, to get the best out of that and be presented more regularly, you could use this tool, which is called Google Search Console, which monitors your website, and that kind of shows you traffic and potential problems that you have in your website that Google's picking up, and it gives you a little bit of guidance on how to fix it. But I'll touch on that during the presentation and in a little bit more detail. So, I mean, this is just a roundup of what we did last week. We touched on a little bit of search engine optimization, SEO. This is basically bringing people to your website and to the product that you offer. We spoke about Google My Business, which is a way to engage with your customers online if you don't have a website. Today's Search Console, which is a tool that Google, again, offers you for free. And it can be very helpful in getting your website presented more often when people are searching for what you offer. So let's talk about Google Search Console. So basically what this does is it monitors your website. It runs a scan. It's got a robot that crawls your website, looks at all your pages. It runs through the look and feel of your website to see that it's mobile friendly, you've got the right data, you've got no broken links, all your errors are pointing to the right pages, all those kind of good things. And it's a good place for, if you're not technical and you've got somebody to help you with your website, this is one of the best tools to go to help you, get the most out of your website, make sure everything's running, and you can give people access to this. That are helping you with your website, and this helps you get your website ready for Google and search results. So what does Google Search Console do for you? So it obviously helps you increase your visibility when people are looking for you. It allows you to upload content and pictures about your business, about your products, and at the same time tell you, what's working, what's not working, and what potential issues you have on your website. It helps you plan your keywords better. So keywords are the way that people find you. I mean, if you're looking for something online in Google, you're going to type in, I'm looking for ladies pink trainers. Those keywords that you type in there will show up in Search Console and help you plan your content better to meet what people are looking for. It helps you kind of build defenses and things against malware, spam, and securing your website, which is obviously, we don't want people to come. People are very scared these days to use credit cards and things online with all the data breaches we've had lately. Google helps you kind of protect your website as well as the customer visiting your website through this console. And then it helps you obviously present yourself with your best foot forward to people that are looking for your products or your services that you offer. So AMP is accelerated mobile pages. A lot of people these days, I mean, the numbers at one point were people on a desktop would do most of their searching online. It's now moving to mobile. So Google Search Console helps you make sure that your website is mobile friendly. It also helps you with any backlinks that you have. So that's basically links that you have to other people's websites. They use that backlink connection from a scoring perspective. So if the website that you connect to has got a really high score on that link, you kind of inherit that score a little bit. And Google Search Console helps you get the most out of that. It also helps you monitor your website, and it kind of tells you, you know, on mobile you're a little bit slow. You need to go and fix these pages. On desktop you're a little bit slow because you focus too much on mobile. You know, this is how you fix it. And then it also helps to index your website. It's something that you present to Google Search Console. It goes through all the pages and makes sure there's no broken links. If there are, it'll come back to you and say, you know, you need to have a look at this link and point it in the right direction. So I'll take you through the setup. Again, as Tracy said earlier, this presentation will be handed through to you, which has got the step-by-step process. I'll also go through a live Search Console environment, a few of them, and kind of show you the different things that the Search Console can actually help you with, and it will be live. So obviously the first place you go to, there's a link there, searchconsole.com. It will present you with a page and tell you a little bit about what Search Console is and how it can help. And it will give you there's a button that says Start Now. And then you can start filling in your details and get your website up and running. Once you're in, you're obviously going to go add your property. This is where it becomes a little bit technical. So let me just go back one page. So once you're in, it asks you, you know, that property that you're going to type in there where it says click here, add property. That's your website address. So you're going to type in www.yourwebsite.co.za in there. The next thing it does is it offers you a couple of ways of verifying that this website actually belongs to you. So if you've got full control of your website, which most people should have, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. So you can download a file and stick it in the root directory of your website, and you do that through your hosting company. You can even ask them to do that to assist you with it. There's a way of actually sending them an email with the file, and they can do this for you. Once they've done it, then you can tell, you know, Google Search Console to verify that this is your website. There are other ways to do this through a tag. So you can add a tag to your website's homepage. You can use a Google Analytics account if you have one, or Tag Manager. Or if you're really technical, you could use a DNS record with, you know, whoever's hosting your website. Then once you're up and running and your website's verified, the very first thing you need to do is present Google with your sitemap. Depending on how your website's set up, there's various tools that can help you set this up and prepare one. I'll talk about a WordPress website. If you have a WordPress website, you can use something like Yoast or Jetpack. That'll help you create this XML file and give you the link. You would then come to this portion of the web of Google Search Console and just type in the sitemap or paste in whatever it is, sitemap_index.xml. And then Google will send its little bots and its spiders to go and have a look at your website and all the links that are presented in your sitemap, and make sure they're all working and you know, in the right order, the right spelling, whatever the case is. Then after a couple of days, it will start presenting you with data. So now you see in this scenario, there's no errors detected in the last 90 days, which is great. I mean, that means your website's up and running. It's fantastic. Google will start presenting you to people that are searching for whatever you're offering. A Okay, I'm going to jump out of this and show you a couple of sites that we currently manage. And find the website, which is over there. Check. Why is this? Are you seeing the page yet? No. Here we go. So when you get the presentation and you click the link, you will see at the top, yeah, this is kind of the link that is on the page, on the first page of my presentation. This is what you'll be presented with. So a little bit of insight on what Google Search Console is, how it tells you how it's going to optimize your stuff, present your stuff to Google, and then helps you fix any issues you have on your website, and also gives you a view on how Google sees, you or sees your website. There's a little bit of training there, so if you get stuck, there's tons of videos, there's tons of assistance online, or you can reach out to somebody like us to give you assistance. It helps you optimize your website from, a mobile perspective, which is always handy. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of people are searching with mobile phones and tablets these days. So obviously, the presentation kind of took you through start now, setting in your website up, getting Google Search Console to recognize your website, and you kind of click this button to get started. So let's hop into a live view. So if you were with us last week, you saw that I showed Abacus Locksmith's Google My Business page. We're going to use their Search Console page as well today. And we'll jump through a couple. I mean, we manage a few in this system. So I'll jump around a little bit and show you some new guys, some old guys, and how it's kind of helping Google find them and how it helps us manage their environment. I've got a question here from myself. Must have, oh, yes. So the reason for an SSL certificate is twofold. It kind of protects your site, number one, and number two, from a visitor perspective, it shows that, you've got protection on your site, and they will be willing to kind of give any credit card information, personal information, email addresses, any login username and passwords. So yes, it's a good idea to have an SSL certificate on your website. Okay, so once we logged into Google Search Console, you kind of presented with this page, which is just an overview page that gives you an idea of the performance on your website. And it only gives view from one side of the picture, which is Google itself. It doesn't show you any details, like if somebody comes in from Facebook, it doesn't track that information. If you set your Search Console up through Google Analytics, that information you'll get from Google Analytics. So Search Console plugs into Analytics and it feeds data in to the analytics side of your profile. So this is just a one-sided view from Google. I mean, the main aim for us today is to be ranked on Google Search Console, and to present obviously I put our best foot forward for Google, and we need to try and fit into all the rules and regulations that they have. And this is one of the ways of doing it. So you can kind of click on any one of these areas to kind of show what your website's doing, and it presents you with how many clicks you've had. And we're looking at a duration of the last 3 months. It shows you how many times your website's been kind of shown on Google. So if somebody searched, how many times you've been presented. This is a very decent average click-through rate. And then obviously the position. So if somebody searches for whatever these guys offer, it shows you the kind of position that the numbers kind of that you're shown at. So these guys obviously not shown at the top. They're shown about 21 lines down, for example, with 21 results down the page. I mentioned earlier keywords, and this is a good place to help you plan your keywords. This shows you, how they've been searched, how many times they've been presented when somebody searched for this specific keyword, and how many times they've been clicked. And you can start using these keywords in blogs, in any of your SEO that you're preparing and planning, to try and increase, obviously, the click and the impression rate, which brings more people to your website. So they show a lot of keywords available here. So this is one of the ways you can help plan, your keyword strategy on your website. And you could see where, people saw information from your website, but they didn't click. You could potentially take these keywords and try and enhance them through your SEO process to get people to click and come visit your website more often. I didn't realize I scrolled all the way that far down. On the pages side, it shows you, which pages are being visited the most. This is a blog that we posted for these guys a little while ago, but they're still getting people visiting and clicking through on the blog. Can I make it bigger? Yes, sure, I can. Sorry about that. How's that? Better?
Yes, thank you, Renato. Thanks, Renato.
Sorry about that.
Renato,
yes.
Can I ask a question related to what you're showing now?
Yes.
I'm looking at my search console, and you know what? Sorry, I just see the answer now. As I was about to ask what period that covers, but I see that date last 3 months, and if I click on that, I can adjust it to. Okay, sorry, I see the answer. Sorry about that.
No worries. Actually, while we're on this page, so there's a couple of ways you can do this, right? So obviously you can set up your own kind of time, your custom time. So whatever period, you can look at today, the last 16 months. But there's another little feature here called compare. So you can kind of compare yourself. In this case, we're looking at 3 months to the last 3 months before this.
Oh, nice.
So, and then you can actually see on the graph how you did the previous 3 months and how you're doing now.
Brilliant.
So you can see, it's grown from 681 to 1.76 thousand clicks, impressions, etc. So it kind of gives you a benchmark and a view of to say, am I doing the right things? Yes, in this
100%.
case.
Great.
And if you want to change things or make it better, or you want to grow that even faster, that also gives you a benchmark to say, well, I've grown this much in the last 3 months, in the last 6 months, in the next 6 months, my goal is to double it or triple it or whatever the case is.
Okay.
I'm just going to go back to the standard one.
I must be doing something right, because I've just noticed my click-through rate is in the last month 5.9%.
That's brilliant. That's really good, because the average click-through rate in South Africa worldwide is just on 2%.
Sure.
So that's very good.
Great.
Keep up what you're doing. I hope you documented it.
Yeah, I should.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Cool. Let's get back here. So as you can see, these are the pages. Obviously, every website's going to be different, but it shows you which pages are being visited the most, how many clicks they've had, how many impressions they've made. And again, this goes back to planning what you want to achieve going forward. So you might want your front page at the top rather than a blog, or vice versa. And this will kind of, if you click into this, it shows the impressions. You should know what's working on this from the queries. You can kind of see this: the key will not turn in your ignition. Let's have a look at the how do people find us? Key won't turn in the ignition. So if you wanted to change a page, let's just close that. And you want people to land on your homepage more often than going straight to a blog post. You can kind of see the queries that they've used to find you, and maybe you want to change. I want locksmiths near me. You want that to be clicked more often, so you'd make that keyword a little bit more you'd focus more on it going forward to try and get it to the top from a click perspective. So there's many ways to kind of look at the data and use it to your advantage. If you have customers outside the country, I mean, this is a great place to have a look. Obviously, these guys are South African based, so this is great for them. I mean, if they had any work outside, if you can kind of look at the numbers and say, well, I want to focus on the United States more often. Not that these guys would, but what I need to do. So these are the keywords that people are searching for in the States. I should focus more on those if I want to attract more people from the United States, as an example. This is quite important here under devices. So in these guys' scenario, you can see most of the visitors come from a mobile device. So their website is mobile friendly. Their Google My Business is online. So if somebody wants to obviously visit them, they can either go to Google My Business, or, do a Google search for locksmiths near me. They've got a little icon on a map that the person can kind of click on and ask for directions from wherever they are to their premises. They've got a little button on the same page that says call now, so it will automatically open the telephone app on your phone, and then you can make a phone call. So in this screen, it basically says their website should be mobile friendly. People visit them more often from a mobile perspective than they do from a tablet or a desktop. So when you tweaking your website, this is very important to take note of. So in this scenario, these guys would make sure that they've got smaller images on that are easily and quickly presentable to a mobile device. Obviously using 3G instead of a LAN. Their pages are nicely laid out. The text is not too small, so when you open up your phone, you don't have to zoom in and out to read the content. Go to search appearance. That wasn't supposed to happen. Oh, that zoomed out way too much. Sorry, I'm going to reset this. Okay. If you've got different kind of content on your website, videos, images, it comes up over here and it kind of shows you where people are visiting the most and where you're getting the most clicks from. And then dates. It shows you which dates you're really good at. You get a similar view on Google My Business. So how this helps you is if you're a blogger, for example, and it kind of tells you, which days are the best to kind of post a blog, what kind of times are the best times to post a blog, when people are visiting your website more often. So from a blogger perspective, this is very handy. Any questions for the kind of overview, search results, and how people are finding you? Okay, we shall move on.
Thanks, Renato.
Let's go back to the overview page. So we clicked on search results report. Obviously, there's discover. Let's have a look. Not a lot of information here, but let's go the last 3 months. It shows you, how people have found you, where they've come from, and what the dates are. So this basically shows you how people have discovered your website rather than where they've come from. Like from a mobile device, etc. Then on the coverage report, this is where you basically pick up errors on your pages. So if we click on this, it'll show you, okay, luckily there's no errors on this page. It'll show you which pages are excluded. Let's click on, we don't have any issues, so that's fine. So this gives you an idea of what's happening on the back end of your website, what Google's doing, what errors they've picked up. Let's actually go to another customer. This is fairly new, with a fairly new website, and no issues. I know we've got lots of issues on our website that we're busy working through, so let me show you these. So again, we're gone from overview, we've gone into the coverage section, we've opened this report, and we're having a look at the error pages. So it tells you what's happening on the back of your website. So these guys have picked up 136 issues on the page. You can kind of click on a date. It will tell you what the issues are. So in this case, something was somebody tried to fix an error and resubmitted the crawl, and it has obviously failed. And it can kind of dig into this and see why it failed, where it failed, and then you can kind of dig in a little bit further and give this to your webmaster, or whoever's helping you look after your website, and say, we've got errors in the following places, please help us fix it. In this case, it shows that there was a crawl error. Let's see what they tell us. And so they're still busy. And these are the places that they failed at, and these are the links. So we're going to have to go back and see what's caused the problem, and do some rectification to make sure that this is repaired and to fix the problem. So what's nice about the tool is that these little question marks, they kind of give you a lot of information on how to fix, what the problems are, where to have a look, and potentially how to fix the problem in some cases. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay. So, and then let's have a look at some of the enhancements. And this kind of helps you, Google helps you kind of present, again, put your best foot forward in certain areas. So in this one, the core web vitals, it shows us, what URLs we're having problems with. There's another little tool that's also for free from Google called Page Insights. It gives you a lot more information. I took a screenshot. Let's see if I can show you this. No. It kind of gives you, if you run this on your website, it helps you dig into what these errors are. So kind of, is there a problem with the way your content gets presented? Is your website running slow? And which content is causing the problems? Is there anything blocking Google scanning, your website? And then it gives you some suggestions on how you can potentially fix these errors. Let's go into the report. So this is telling us we've got poor URLs for mobile. And they're telling us that these pages are taking longer than 4 seconds to present themselves. So this, over here, we could actually click onto the website, actually go to the link, and you can get an idea of how long it takes. Looking at this, I'm probably going to assume that the text is too small, there's too much text, and that's something we're probably going to have to look at. This is quite a long blog that they posted. Okay, so that's the kind of information you can kind of have a look at. So if we had fixed this, once we had fixed, the error on the page, we could tell Google, what we've done with it. Can you please go and have a look at it again? And it will run through a scan and obviously offer you some feedback. As you can see, if I click on the little, hover my mouse over the question mark, it kind of tells you, how long it takes, and give you a little bit of feedback and information on what they're actually doing when they validate the fix. let's go back to overview. So from a mobile usability perspective, bar the core web vitals, we don't seem to have any errors. It's pretty good. These guys are Google's very happy with them. And then the site link search box, again, we don't have any errors. But again, you can click into each one of those reports and you can kind of dig down a lot deeper into what the problems are, what Google has found, and it helps you kind of go back and rectify it on your website. If you're a blogger, for example, actually, I won't. So this, if that page we looked at earlier, just grab that link. You can ask Google to kind of have a look at it again without validating it, and kind of give you feedback on how that page is kind of being presented, how they're seeing it, and any other information they can offer you. Why is that not working? There we go. So here's the feedback. It is mobile friendly, which you wanted. It's part of the XML map. It is indexed. The last time it crawled was yesterday, and it's used the Google bot. So I was talking about spiders and bots and things earlier. This is how Google scanned this page. This obviously the crawl was allowed. The page wasn't blocked, and nothing on the page blocked Google from actually having a look at it. And you can do this to if you're busy with a new website or a new page on your website. You can kind of see before you present the page and make it live. You can ask Google to have a look at it and say, you know, is anything wrong? Do I need to fix anything? Are we good? In this case, everything is good. So we would then post the page and make it live. Okay, I think we're done on this page. Let's go have a look. So we've kind of touched on search results over here. We touched on Discover over here. Coverage is where we have all the error pages. So when we clicked on Open Report, we basically went to that. And then Sitemaps. So right in the beginning, after you've added your verified your website and your website address, this is the very next page you come to, and you present Google with your sitemap. Very slow today. Sorry, guys. I suppose this is what happens when you're having a few Zoom calls at the same time.
The network is slow today.
Yeah. Well, there's three of us.
Seems all round.
There's three of us on Zoom and team calls at the moment. There's a question here from Trevor. Do you have to periodically re-upload the sitemap? If you've made a lot of significant changes on your website, yes. You don't have to re-upload it. You just tell Google, you know, please have a look. We've made some changes, recrawl it. They kind of scan every couple of weeks anyway. Why did that disappear again? Yeah, I know I'm having some challenges with the internet. Okay, so if you've got a new website, obviously there would be nothing on this page. And this is where you would fill in this detail here. So you would get this from whatever tool you're using, this over here, on your website to get the sitemap, and you'd paste it into this area over here, and then submit it. And then Google will start crawling it. As you can see here, it was resubmitted on the 7th of June, and then the last time Google itself went and reread it was on the 7th of October. And then you can kind of see how often it actually does go and scan and how many new URLs it has found. So I think, Trevor, this is I mean, if you're really making massive changes to your website, then you'd submit a new URL. Or if you've come up with an error, if Google has come back and said, you know, we can't connect to it anymore, or if your XML files become corrupt or something to that effect, then you'd resubmit. But Google will keep, on a regular basis, you know, keep scanning it. And if it comes up with an error, it will tell you what the error is. So you don't have to resubmit all the time. Trevor, have you presented Google with this site, with the sitemap? Okay. How long ago was that? Sorry, Trevor's busy typing over here. He said he did submit a sitemap when he first created the site. So you've got none of this? You can't see any of this, Trevor?
No, it's blank. The only thing I can think of is when I first created the site, it wasn't HTTPS, and I may have submitted the sitemap at that point, and then afterwards converted it to HTTPS. So I guess I need to submit it again.
Yes. In that case, that's definitely submitted again. I mean, if it's not reading anything, absolutely.
Okay.
Resubmit it.
Thanks.
And then it'll take about 2 or 3 days, depending on how big your website is. It might take a couple of hours, and then you should start seeing data. Okay, so there's not usually a hell of a lot to cover on the sitemap. If you have deleted something on your website and it hasn't been picked up through Google Scan, you can actually go into this section and kind of remove the link from Google, so it'll stop searching for that link. So if you've got a blog and you decided, okay, I don't want it anymore, and you delete the page, you can come to Google and say, you know what, I've taken this away. Here's the old link. Please don't scan for it anymore. Otherwise, Google might come back and say, you know, there's errors on your page. Please go and have a look at, please, you know, start pointing this page to a 404 error page, or you know, whatever it is, and they'll just keep scanning it, and then your error count will start growing and growing and growing, and then the error count is not a good look from a Google perspective. So you can come here and say, Google, don't scan this anymore. It's not there. I don't want you to scan this anymore. Or even if you have a page that you don't want Google to scan, if you've got a page that you know you don't want everybody to find, for whatever reason, you can kind of tell them, yes, please don't scan that, and that won't be presented to anybody that searches as often. Let's go a little bit further down. We kind of touched on the core web vitals. Mobile usability, we had a look at. So obviously their site is very mobile friendly. We saw that earlier. And then from a settings perspective, right in the beginning, when you first log on and you've created your profile, you've presented your website, it asks you to validate it. Once you've done that, you'll get a little tick box over here to say you are a verified owner. So these guys have done it through DNS, where they've gone and changed some of their settings with their hosting company, which happens to be us. Under users and permissions, so if you wanted, obviously you're the sole owner of this is your search console, this is your profile. If you wanted to invite somebody else to come and help you with managing your website, if you get to come to us, for example, and ask us to manage your website, we'd ask for this access. And you can obviously add us as a user, put in your email address, and change the permissions that you want us to have. And you can do this through any of the Google tools that are on offer. So this will basically just invite us in, so we can have a look at the data. There's not a hell of a lot we can change or mess up over here for you. So you can feel quite comfortable adding a new user here, and you can take them away as quickly as you put them in. This is just a view. So I think this is important as part of your SEO process. You want people to be connecting to you from externally, especially if you're a blogger. if you write an article and you reference somebody else, there's ways that you can kind of communicate with that somebody else to say, you know what, I'll write a blog about the following. Can I link it to yours? Most times they'll say yes. And then you can kind of have a plan in place to say, if I write about this and I link to this page, will you write about that and reference our page? And then you've created an external link to your blog. And that's pretty good for SEO. It's one of the things Google measures to help present you. You know, it shows that you've got really good content. People like the content. You've got great companies linking to your content. So I'll present, you know, this information to somebody that's looking for whatever you're writing about. This is an idea of, you know, who they're linking, who's linking to them. Some of these guys, from an SEO perspective, there's companies out there that you can connect to for free without having to write a blog. And I mean, like Hot Frog, for example, if you want to register, this is like the Yellow Pages. So if we all remember what the Yellow Pages did, we got the book, and it had a list of all the businesses in wherever the area, and your details are there with a phone number, contact details, whatever. The Yellow Pages does the same, and it allows you to then, that you put your website address in there, and it creates an external backlink into your website, which is a good thing to have, and it doesn't cost you any money. And a lot of these are that, as you can see, like these guys are like a Yellow Pages, like a Yellow Pages. But it's also good to have, I mean, in the locksmith arena, if they linked blogs to the central kind of management agency, I think it's called LASA. If LASA writes blogs and refers to Abacus and vice versa, it also helps with, you know, creating credibility on your website to Google and to obviously customers that are trying to visit. So external links, always a good thing to have. This is free SEO, by the way. Okay, I think we've covered all of it. Any questions?
So Hannah has posted a question. I opened an account on Google. How do I get to Google search?
So Hannah, when we're finished here, I think Tracy and Laurie will send out an email with my presentation. It is on the first page, the link. So let me open my presentation again, which is over here. And I'll show you. So if we go to the first page, there, no, where did I put it? I know it is here somewhere. Oh, there we go. So there's the link. You get it, you'll get the link. Any other questions?
So there's nothing that's come through in the chat box. Does anyone else have any other questions or not certain about something?
I do have a question. Sorry, Renato, it's related to what I was saying about not having the sitemap listed. So yep. I've now it's saying add a new sitemap. Obviously I must have clicked on add new sitemap, and it says https://www.gadgetstore.co.za/ field where it says enter sitemap URL and yep. then submit. But yep. What do I enter as the remaining part of the website? Can I not just leave it as is blank?
No.
With
no, you have to. Yeah. So the sitemap is an actual file. It's an XML file.
Okay. All right. So I've got to upload the file.
Well, not the file, just the link. So basically, okay. After you've got gadgetstore.co.za/, you'll have yes. something that'll be sitemap _ whatever. .html or XML, not HTML.
Okay.
If what's your website built on? So what's the
WordPress.
content management system?
WordPress.
Okay. So if you're using something like why can't I think of it now? Not Jet.
Yoast.
Yeah, no, not Yoast. Yoast can help you. I can't think of the name now. Give me a sec. I'll go look into the back of our website.
Thank
Give
you.
you the name. Because we use the same tool. Jetpack. Sorry, I knew it was Jet.
Jetpack. Okay.
Jetpack, yeah. So
Yeah.
Jetpack will create one for you. And then there is a section in Jetpack that says site links, site XML, and it'll give you the actual link. All you got to do is then take the XML portion. So
yeah, and paste it in there.
And paste that in. Yes.
Got you.
And then it
All right. I'm sure it exists because, as I say, I definitely did do it at some stage, probably before it was HTTPS. So I'll just have to log in to my WordPress backend and see what the XML file name is.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So if you need help, you know where to find it.
100%. Thank you.
There was a question here from Andrew Goldberg about what's the difference between this and Google Analytics. I mentioned earlier, so Search Console only gives you a view from Google, and it's not very in depth. Where Analytics will give you a view from everybody's perspective. So from Bing, from Alexa, from mobile, from Facebook, from Twitter, from LinkedIn. Analytics will tell you, where are your visitors coming from, what kind of devices, what platforms, what kind of browser they're using. Where Search Console is only a Google view. So how does Google see your website? So it's more of the tracking and the finding under the overview is a great way for you to start an SEO campaign and start building a strategy to present your website to Google in the best way possible. That's just focusing on Google. So, 90% of people in South Africa, when they look for something, the first place they go to is Google at the end of the day. If you are focused on the rest of the world and any other platform, so if your visitors come to you more regularly from a DuckDuckGo, you would find that information under Google Analytics, and you'll be able to target from that information that specific browser if you like. So Search Console is purely a Google tool, purely how Google sees your website. Happy with that, Andrew? Does that make sense?
Yes, that's fine. Anything else, do you think it's worthwhile to have both Google Analytics and Google Search?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
and
I've got.
What sort of time period do you have to be on Google Search or Google? See, I'm on Google Analytics, and I found that it only updates itself every day, so you wouldn't know what's happening at the time. So you can only see what's happened in the past. So it only updates itself every day. So it's quite a big problem because I've only been on it for let's say about 4 or 5 days, and it seems to be very user unfriendly.
Yes. So
really.
So look, I don't know if you've been there since the beginning. This is a 4-part session. Last week we did Google My Business. We've done Search Console today. Tomorrow, I think next week, this time, we're doing Google Analytics.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to be doing Google Analytics. That's fine. So I've got to. They say there's ways to fix up the Google Analytics so it makes it more beneficial to you. So that's why I wanted to know.
Absolutely. Look, I'm not going to dig into all of that. We could spend weeks on Google Analytics. We only have an hour. And I'll take you through, the top level, high level stuff on how to get the most out of it next week. But there is, in Google Analytics, there is a way to see your live data. So you can kind of see right now how many people are on your website.
Yeah, I know you can see right now, but it's actually only the statistics are only showing the days before, not showing up till now.
Yes,
I find.
and you can change that view as well, like you can do in Search Console. You can kind of change it for the last 7 days, last 3 months, last 6 months, or whatever you want, and then you can compare it to the previous period.
Yes, that's what I need.
So that's also available on analytics.
Okay,
Have you connected your analytics to your site? You obviously have.
correct.
Then if you've got a Search Console account, you can connect it to analytics as well. Now, because you've got an analytics account, setting up Search Console is going to be a lot easier for you, because you can tell Search Console that you've got an analytics account to connect the two up. So it presents you with both sets of data. So you can, from an analytics page perspective, you can see the Search Console details as well. So on the left-hand side of your, as with this page, on the left-hand side of your screen, you've got your menu. If you scroll a little bit down on the menu, you can see the Search Console. Once you've connected it, you can see the Search Console section, which shows you very much what you see here. Okay, I don't see any new questions.
Nothing new, Renato.
Yep.
So I think we'll wrap it up for today. And it's been so informative. For me, it's learning something totally new, because, as I said at the beginning, I'm certainly not the expert.
He wants to bring
but
something for me.
extremely,
Can I ask?
extremely
Can we leave
valuable.
it with you at the gate? Is that possible?
Hello.
Sorry, just no, Trevor's not on mute.
So, Renato, thank you so much again for another week of your time, and we look forward to seeing you all next week for going into Google Analytics in more depth. Laurie is just going to take a moment of your time now, and we hope that you found this session as beneficial as we did. We thank you always for your participation, and we have put up a poll to ask you if you would consider making a donation to AuthJet. As you know, and I continuously mention, we have no live on-site training, so are therefore unable to charge for any of our training sessions. So if you are in a position to make a small donation to us, it would be extremely appreciated, and we thank you. So the poll is up now. And Renato, thank you for your time this week. We look forward to next week, and I will be sending out, as posted in the comments, the presentation, recording, and the hand guide that Renato kindly prepared for us today. So thank you all for joining us, and we hope you have a good afternoon further, and we will see you all next week.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you so
Renato.
much. It was